Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night, everybody. My name is Tiffany Johnson here from Rangemaster/TacCon, and I'm bringing you another episode of Meet the Trainers. And are you tired of hearing me say I'm excited? Because I always say that at the beginning of every video. Sorry, but it's true. I am really, really excited to introduce you guys to one of our newest to join the TacCon cadre. Don't make the mistake of confusing that with my saying that he's new as a trainer, because he's most certainly not. He's got some of the longest history in the training world of anybody on our cadre. But I couldn't do it justice possibly, so I'm going to let him introduce himself. Mr. Gelhaus, thank you so much for joining the TacCon family. I'm super excited to have you. But for those who don't know you, please introduce yourself.
First off, thank you for your time and thank you for the intro, Tiffany. Truly appreciate it. Background wise, did a little bit of stuff in the academic world, made it through grad school. Was doing the cop thing at the same time. So 29 years in law enforcement, kind of doing all the cop stuff, patrol, community policing, gang suppression, firearm stuff, field training. A little bit of time in the military, both Cold War and in the current fight. So that's kind of it, like paid type stuff. Teaching wise, like you said, I'm new to TacCon. This is the first time I'm going to get to teach there after hanging out and annoying plenty of people for the last several years. But I've been teaching down at a gun site since 2001. Been on staff down there, worked for a couple other companies, worked for Aimpoint on their pro staff, did some writing for a few years for SWAT, and have my own company, Cougar Mountain Solutions, which is based on a terrain feature in Northern California that overlooks the San Francisco Bay. Didn't think about anything else when I named the company.
I'm guessing you may have gotten asked about that a time or two.
once or 1,200.
Well, awesome. And again, welcome. So you are coming in with a bang, good sir. You've got several blocks to offer at TacCon. So let's cycle through them. First up is research on ready positions versus bad guy behaviors. This is a fascinating topic, and it's one of those things that everybody's arguing about. So this is your 2-hour classroom block on Friday morning. Tell us what to expect in that block.
So whereas John Hearn, truly the smartest dude in the tent, has been looking at a bunch of things on a broad spectrum, this is going to be trying to take about 3 or 4 different studies that are a little bit more law enforcement centric on where our guns are oriented from the holster to on target, and what bad guys are doing while we're dealing with them, with the goal of diminishing negligent shootings, or at least preventing shootings that didn't have to happen. And it's looking at angles and timeframes involved and how that impacts your decision making, and then trying to, again, because it's coming from the cop world, trying to make it all relevant to decent normal humans, and trying to have some stuff there where we can at least get some carryover and extrapolate the cop stuff for everybody else. So that's kind of the first goal. And I'm also going to hit on flashlights a bit too, because there was some stuff came out earlier this year on where you have the flashlight and how that could impact where things end up working out. So that's the first one.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's only the first one, but wait, there's more.
I thought I put "or" in there.
Oh, see, you will learn not to give Tom Givens options, because he doesn't do options. He'll just throw it all. If you're a reputable trainer and you give him options, he'll ask you to teach everything. Ask Chuck Haggard. All right, so your next block is another one that I find super, super relevant. Blocked and broken red dots. This is a live fire block that I think is getting repeated. You're offering it twice. Tell us about that class.
So there's still a lot of concern about what happens if the battery dies, what happens if the gun gets muddy, if the gun gets wet. And kind of my goal with these 2 hours is going to be, okay, something ends up on the front of the lens. How do we still stay in the fight? What if we trip and fall and get a bunch of crud into the back of the optic? How do we stay in? What if it's raining and rainwater is getting in there? And the goal is going to be to try to give everybody a chance to see how those different things impact the optic, no pun intended, and work through it so that if you're carrying a pistol with an optic, or you want to carry a pistol with an optic, and that ends up happening, it's not the first time you've seen it. You've got a pathway to work through the problem and stay in the fight. So that's the goal. And then there'll be a little bit of judgmental stuff in there at the end.
So I first of all, on a personal level, I would like to say thank you for covering this topic, because every time I hear arguments on red dots, the top argument against them is, oh, they break, they're unreliable. And it's always been kind of black and white. And I correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first time I've ever seen anybody actually teach dealing with the possibility that you may have an issue with your dot, as opposed to just saying, oh, they never break, or oh, they always break. So thank you. Very thoughtful.
The red dot classes I've had while we were putting together the red dot program down at Gunsight hit on this in different ways. This is kind of taking the best options to get through a bad situation and making it work. And then also kind of answering some questions, and hopefully it won't be freezing cold when we're down in Dallas, because we do have to work through rainwater and stuff on the optics. So.
Ooh, so that means I get to come down there with a water hose and douse everybody?
Close. Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
All right. Won't keep, just kidding, folks. I'm not going to do that. All right, let's see. And I was just skimming the schedule. I think I misspoke. I thought that one was repeated, but unfortunately it's not. We can only spread Erick so thin. So if you want to catch Blocked and Broken Red Dots, that one's on Friday afternoon. You're also going to participate on a panel with Lee Weems and John Daw, but I'm going to hold off on addressing that one. That's Lee's brainchild, and I'll let him explain what to expect in that one. But I will tell everybody listening, it's going to be a doozy. You definitely want to put a little asterisk by that one on the schedule.
I think we're going to hit on some things that don't get talked up enough, or talked about enough in the community. And I know just a little bit about John's, but I'm looking forward to hearing what John has to say. And I think it's going to open some eyes.
Well, the title of that one is The Aftermath. And again, I'll let Lee explain it more, but it's another one that I'd like to personally thank you for participating in, because it's one of those topics that, I 100% respect people's choice to discuss their personal experience with the aftermath or not. It's a very, very personal issue. And for you and John and Lee to allow us to learn from your experience, which is relatively rare, is very selfless of all three of you. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. So that was a little sneak peek about the aftermath, but you'll hear more about that from Lee. The last one from Erick is reactive shotgun. And I have seen more chatter about this class than perhaps any other. We have some diehard Shotty fans at TacCon every year. So tell us what they're going to get in reactive shotgun.
So I can't remember if Daryl's done some shotgun stuff in the past, but this is going to be looking at the shotgun kind of from the West Coast perspective. So Gunsight, Bill Jeans, Louis Auerbach, Scotty Reitz, which I was all fortunate to come up under those guys as my instructors with the shotgun. So I didn't get Tom, I got all these other guys on the Western half of the US. And it's working in the shotgun from the perspective of, there is a problem, I am responding to that problem, I'm reacting to that problem. I chose the word reactive because I'm using proactive in some other classes in terms of law enforcement going out and dealing with the problem. That's the proactive side of it. Decent, normal human beings, it's come to me and now I have to work my way through it. And so we're going to be looking at manipulations, looking at how stuff works kind of within your house. So it's not 25-yard slug shots. It's going to be more 5, 6, 7 yards, like from a doorway across a room, from a doorway down a hall. And then kind of in that area that I like to throw in as much as possible is there's going to be a judgmental shooting problem at the end. Now, depending on how many folks show up, depends on how many get to go through it, but I'm going to try to get some of the judgmental stuff in there. So people are working the thought process, the target discrimination process, not just make gun go bang on a command.
That's awesome. Well, I have a feeling you'll have more than a few people show up, especially since you've got a full 3 hours on Sunday afternoon, right after the pistol match. So everybody's going to be exhilarated and they're going to be looking for a fun class to go to. And, you know, they might all end up in your class. So, so you got that to look forward to. Erick Gelhaus, the one, the only, the magnificent. Thank you so much. And I appreciate your being so flexible to schedule this. For those who don't know, he and I have been bouncing back and forth to get this scheduled for a while. So I appreciate your patience with me, and I can't wait to see you in Dallas. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your perseverance, and I hope you get healed up by then.
I appreciate that. I'm going to do my best.